I call the March 18th, 2026 regular board meeting of the Glencoe Park District to order. Lisa, please call the roll and state the time.
Excellent. 7 o'clock. Commissioner Kobe.
Here.
Commissioner Reitman.
Here.
Mr. Hazen is absent. Commissioner Guzman is not here yet. Commissioner Cummins.
Perfect. Items A through F are routine and recommend. Does any commissioner want to have any item pulled from the consent agenda items?
No.
No? Okay, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, Lisa, please.
Mr. Kobe.
Yes.
Commissioner Reitman.
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins.
Yes.
Okay, that's 3. We do not have anyone from the public at this time unless, Craig, you participate in that, want to participate in that? So I think we are going to move on from the matters from the public and right into the presentation on NSSRA from Craig Culp, Executive Director, will present on it. The documents were in our packet, but I'm excited to walk through it. As a big supporter of NSSRA, I am happy that you are here today with us. Okay.
Instructed to do so.
Thank you.
Am I there? Good. All right. My name is Craig Culp. I'm the Executive Director at NSSRA, the Northern Suburban Special Recreation Association. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to give a brief presentation on who we are and the partnership that we have with Glencoe and have had with Glencoe for 56 years. I'll go through this and be happy to have a discussion, answer any questions that you may have. So I'll run through this and then you guys let me know what questions you have after that. So moving right along, see if that works. Yep. So NSSRA, very simply, NSSRA is a park district for people with disabilities. Whenever anybody asks me who we are, what we are, we basically provide recreational programs for individuals with disabilities in our 13 partner communities. We're an extension of the 10 park districts, 2 cities, and 1 village that makes up NSSRA. And our mission is right in line with yours. It's providing recreation for folks, but we provide specifically for individuals with disabilities. So we'll go through our mission, vision, and a little bit of history. So mission is to enrich the lives of people with disabilities in our partner communities through quality recreation services. And what I like to focus on there is in partner communities. So we're one of 33 SRAs in Illinois. And we are a partnership or membership program. So we're an extension of the park districts and our focus is the residents of our 13 communities. Vision-wise, it says to be leaders in recreation by providing innovative and exceptional services for people with disabilities. And what I like to focus the word I like to focus on there is leaders. You can read a little bit further down there. So NSSRA was formed in 1970, the first SRA ever formed in the world. So we started this entire thing. Glencoe Park District is one of our founding members, partners. So vision-wise, we've been leading this effort since we started, and our team and our board think that's very, very important. So again, founded in 1970, this is our 56th year of doing this, and we have 13 partner agencies. So Lake Bluff Park District is our northern border, and then the Glenview and Wilmette Park District are our southern border, and then basically the 13 communities that are in between there make up our entire partnership. Structure and laws, kind of how we came to be and what we are. The 2 main laws that we either created us or that we follow. First, the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, that was passed in the 80s. NSSRA and its partners were doing what the ADA says well before it was written. But basically the ADA says any provision of programming or opportunity has to be open to everybody, regardless of if they have a disability or not. And then the 5.8 levy is section 5-8 of the Park District Code and an identical law in the municipal code says that any park district or municipality can partner with another entity to create an SRA. But that creation of an SRA is for the joint efforts of programming for individuals with disabilities recreational needs. That's exactly what Section 5.8 of the Park District Code says. And that was written passed in 1969. In 1970, NSSRA was created. And there is a specified tax levy that is enabled in Section 5-8 that lets our partners access a small portion of your park district tax that then is specifically dedicated to joint programming for people with disabilities recreational needs. That's exactly what it says in the law. So that's where the majority of our funding comes from. And then lastly, our Articles of Agreement is the document that we, NSSRA and our 13 partners, sign that basically lays out our responsibilities and how we interact together. Glencoe Park District facilities. We are an extension of our 13 partner park districts, and we use all 13 partner park district facilities to provide some of our programs. And here at Glencoe Park District, you probably see our participants. Michael and I were just talking about that here all the time. So we use Take-Off Center often for special events. Our annual adult day program, Valentine's Day Dance, has been here for many, many years. Our Friday and Saturday night social clubs uses this room and this facility all the time. And then, you know, during the week, weekdays, during the evenings and during the day, we're out here often. So thank you so much for the use of Take-Off Center. I don't know if we're one of your most common, but I think we're a pretty common user of this facility and we absolutely love it. In addition to that, we're out at the beach every single summer. Our summer camps go down there from time to time on the 18 days. It's actually nice to be out there. And then we're at Watts Park and the Weinberg Family Rec Center, you know, from time to time for our Gator programs, you know, and for summer camp opportunities. So thank you so much for all of your support with us. Participation wise, you can see our trending since after COVID, basically. And you can see in 2025, we took a dip down. There's two reasons for that. Number one, we were down a couple of rec specialists, and the majority of our programs are run by our full-time staff because of their training. And then we had a couple of program leaders who had some family issues, and we actually had to cancel a handful of programs last year because we didn't have enough staff to safely man those programs. In addition to that, our foundation, which I'll speak about in a moment, they took on the responsibility of paying in full for our annual Shining Stars Banquet and Summer Bash, which they used to sponsor. But I approached them for 25 and said, can you take on this entire fee? And they said they did. And with that, they took over the registration for it. So our Rec Track program doesn't jive with their registration program. So that made a little bit of an impact participation wise because we don't have those stats exactly, but we are still doing the same level of service. Inclusion and the inclusion process. So the inclusion program or offerings that NSSRA offers is actually our biggest program when it comes to numbers. And inclusion, I'll walk you through it quickly, is all about choice. And basically what inclusion means is if a resident of Glencoe Park District or Wilmette Park District who has a disability wants to participate in their home park district program rather than in a segregated program at NSSRA, again, it's all about choice. We together work with them to make sure that they get into the program that they want, whether Glencoe Park District is offering it or NSSRA is offering it. One piece of good news, well, it's all good news, but one really neat stat is 38 individuals at NSSRA participate both in NSSRA programs and in inclusion programs, again, focusing in on that choice. They participate in what they want to. But the process for inclusion is basically a family decides that they want their son to go to, you know, Glencoe summer camp with their buddies from school rather than NSSRA's segregated program, as an example. So they fill out on the Glencoe Park District registration sheet that we call it check the box. They say we need an accommodation or some assistance for our son to be successful in the program. Your registration team sees that. They pass it on to the rec team here at Glencoe. Then our partner park district, Glencoe, calls the family and says, I see that you checked this. How can we help you make the program great? And then they start the conversation as to what the needs are. After that is assessed, then Glencoe Park District, you know, Bobby's team, they contact our team and say, okay, the Smith family are looking for this summer program. Our team reaches out to the family, gathers some more information, and then together, the family, Glencoe Park District team, and NSSRA's team work together to provide what we call the most reasonable accommodation or whatever accommodation is needed. And the most common accommodation that we provide is a one-on-one leisure aid or a staff to help them. As you can see in the picture there, that is an individual, a staff working with an individual with a disability. And that leisure aid's responsibility is to focus in on the needs of that individual. And during the program, if everything is going great, that staff person becomes part of the staff and does what is needed in the program. But if the person that they're supporting needs some additional support or direction, they know that they split off. They go talk to Jenny and say, hey, Jenny, how can I help you? Let me re-explain the rules, what we're trying to accomplish, et cetera, et cetera. So they're like an extra set of senses for them. And then during the program, everything is assessed and monitored by the Park District team, by NSSRA, and by the family. And we discuss and we work together to make sure that everything is going as well as it can. So that's the inclusion process in a nutshell. And again, it's our biggest program that we offer amongst all of our partner agencies. Yes.
So in the process, do you require documentation from a doctor or from something that suggests this is why they need the services or need to maybe have different groupings or like, how does that work?
Yeah, so we do ask the family to share with us the diagnosis of what the needs are, but we don't have to go as far as a doctor signing off on this is what's happening, because this is recreation that we do. We're an extension of the Park District, so our goal is just to know the program. We work with, we'll just talk about Glencoe here. We work with your team of, preschool teachers or the swim lessons that are happening on the beach or, fill in the blank, the basketball program that's happening here at Takeoff. And we basically just work with the family, work with the program staff, and identify what are the needs of this individual. And then we work with that inclusion aid if that's who we place. We say we have them meet the family, talk with them, get familiar, and then we start basketball, and see how it goes, and honestly, it's 95% of it is chemistry, because we're all doing fun because it is recreation, and more times than not, it's a great fit from time to time. Over the entire year, we employ about 300 to 350 inclusion aids throughout the year. In the summertime, close to 200 are placed at one time during the summer. So it is not perfect science, but statistically, we really, really do a great job of providing these needs. And sometimes it doesn't fit well, and we switch. When we have 200 staff that we can move around, it's quite a puzzle that we take care of. Thank you for that question. All right, moving on from there, here's the inclusion numbers for Glencoe Park District. So we had 45 specific requests for programs for support for Glencoe residents in Glencoe Park District programs in 2025. And we had one request for a Glencoe resident to participate in a program outside of Glencoe Park District. So for example, they might have gone to Wilmette Park District for a gymnastics program because they have that huge gymnastics gym. So we track all of that. And we do have a lot of our partner agencies where residents flip flop from, one park district to another, depending on, what the opportunities recreationally are there. Inclusion by season, you can see summer and fall are our busiest times of the year. Winter and spring, you can also see there. Summer is always our busiest time. And we provide support for summer camps, well, for everything, again, according to choice, but statistically, we are busiest in our summer camps and our schools day out programs and in the preschool program. Budget-wise, there's two contributions that our partner agencies make to NSSRA. First one is a MAC, that's a member agency contribution. You can see the history there over the last 3 years. And the MAC is basically the contribution that each partner makes for the operations of NSSRA. And for NSSRA's operations programs, traditional programs, et cetera. And then the inclusion contribution is what I just described with the inclusion process. It is a pay-as-you-go type of program. So the more inclusion opportunities that a family or residents take advantage of, the more costs that there are. So the partner park district is billed back for the hourly wage plus FICA for those inclusion aids that support those individuals in that home park district setting. So you can see that it's definitely trending, and this is congruent with all 13 of our partners. Inclusion is very popular and continues to become even more popular.
What were the stats pre-COVID?
Pardon me?
What were these do you know what these numbers were like pre-COVID?
I don't have them at the top. They were similar to this, but I can get them through Lisa to see that. So 2020 was
Yeah.
almost nothing. But leading up to it, our trending since 2015 has just been getting busier, busier, busier. COVID hit, and then we continue to try to look for staff like everybody else since then. But I can get those. We have stats going back, for as long as you need. I can get those to Lisa. Foundation, I'd like to just touch base. They're fantastic. So our foundation, formed in 1997, probably our biggest fans. And we have 2 or 3 board members on our foundation from Glencoe. So they have founded in 1997. They provided just under $4 million in funding for scholarships, our vehicles, special events like the Bash and Banquet I was just talking about, and to help us start programs since they were founded in 1997. Then in addition to that, with our new building that is on Lake Cook Road across from the Botanic Gardens, they raised $4 million of the $9 million cost for that building, which was just absolutely fantastic. So that is just kind of and then in addition to that facility support, before the building was opened, kind of the last point here, I approached the foundation, and 16,000 square feet of our new facility is programming space. And I asked the foundation, would they be willing to pay for the capital replacement costs for that space after it opens and forever? And they evaluated that and said, yes, we will. And in our 10-year plan for capital replacement, it averages $123,000 a year, or $1.2 million over that 10 years. And they're committed to keep that going as long as we have the building, which is just amazing. And those, again, are dollars that we don't have to go to our taxpayers and our partner agencies to fund. Our foundation is funding that for us, which I think is just fantastic. Speaking of our building, it's called the Slotnick Center, named after the Slotnick family. In this October, believe it or not, we'll hit our 5th year being there. Like I said, we're on Lake Cook Road, right across from the Botanic Gardens. Our building was formerly the Lakeside Congregation Synagogue that we purchased in 2019 and opened in 2021. Again, it was a $9 million project, of which $5 million came from our partner agencies and $4 million came through our foundation. So it's a wonderful public and private partnership. 16,000 square feet of the 22,000 square feet that were renovated are participant program spaces, which include 3 multi-purpose rooms, a participant lounge, an outdoor patio, a teaching kitchen, an art studio, and a small fitness room. And in October of this year, we're going to have a celebration for our 5-year anniversary in the building. More to come about that. And then last thing, every year we have the foundation holds a golf outing called the Swing Golf Outing. And we have 8 partner agencies that have their own golf courses. And they have an agreement with our foundation where they host that outing on a rotating once every 8 years basis. And the foundation has been clearing over $50,000 in the last number of years for that outing. And probably the neatest thing with it, those are 3 of our Gator golfers. Gator is our Special Olympics sports team. So these are 3 of our Gator golfers, and they participate and hit a tee shot for every group off of one of the tees every year, and really is kind of the highlight. So Glencoe has been a participant in the Swing Golf outing for many, many years. And this year we're at the Deerfield Park District Golf Course for our outing, and it's on September 18th. So we'd love to see you all there. I try to keep it brief, and that's just a quick oversight of the great partnership that we are lucky enough to have Glencoe Park District as one of our partners. And what questions could I answer?
Are you guys looking at me?
You asked the most so far.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm curious to know if, like, what your vision would be over the next 3 to 5 years, and like what kind of what more would you want out of our partnership?
So our greatest need is staff. We have been struggling, and I know basically almost every single business is saying the same exact thing. Our greatest need is being able to find staff. as we said as I noted in the presentation, because of staffing struggles and because life happens to staff, we had to cut back a handful of programs this past year. Because one thing we won't do is back off on safety and quality. And we would rather cancel a program, which no family member likes at all. But if we can't do something safely, we don't want anybody to get hurt. So partnership wise, and we have a whole system. Anybody that applies at Glencoe Park District, if your spots are full, then the team then says, hey, we need you to work at our SRA. It's the same exact thing, but specifically for folks with disabilities, and an inclusion placement may put you right back here in this building. So please come join us. So that we're working on. The sad thing is in therapeutic rec, which is our field, and in public recreation, which is, a subset of the field, the enrollment in schools, college-wise, is just not growing. It's actually shrinking. So we're working with our state association, trying to get that to happen. And it's one step forward, 3 steps back, and 1 step forward, then 4 steps back. So the number one need we need is staffing. And then beyond that, just the continued support. Lisa and the team, they do a great job of making this facility available to us, making us a priority. And sometimes we displace other programs that you may want to schedule here, and we're appreciative of that. So staffing is by far our number one need. Yes.
One thing, with AI coming, and it's gonna shift all the entire marketplace, I think, in the next 5 to 10 years. So you may find that those jobs are not replaceable, and you may end up with more people wanting to look in that
To
field.
come get
FYI,
jobs.
I keep
Hope
thinking
so.
about that. Yeah.
That would.
More
I think you're
in-person
right.
jobs are going to
Yep.
be in demand. Do you ever take interns, or is it not like high school kids? Are there roles that they can fill or serve like over the summers, or is it not?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily intern. So yes, we do have an internship program, a bit more focused towards the college students than high school students.
Yeah.
But our main pool of individuals that we employ are high schoolers and
Okay.
college students. So
That's good to know.
we're 16 and up.
Okay.
We don't employ 15-year-olds, just all the rules. But yes, our ideal staff member, and we've had hundreds of these, is somebody in high school that's going to go into some type of human service, education, PT, OT, special ed, et cetera, TR, Parks and Rec. We love to get them. And we have relationships with all of our high schools. We're at job fairs and communicate with all of them. We love to get them. They fall in love with us. They work for us every single summer for high school, and then through college, and then through grad school. Every year we have folks come back. Like last year for summer training, we had an individual that just got her degree in PT, graduated from Northwestern. She came back and said, I started as a junior in high school, worked here every single summer for the last 8 years. I was getting all my education. Now I have a full-time job. I have to step away, but please keep on doing this. So yeah, that's our goal. And again, we knock on the doors and are at every single fair of our high schools, from Lake Forest all the way down to New Trier and everything in between, even out to Stevenson and everything. So.
Great.
In the packet, I put the Illinois Park District's obligation for ADA for participants in programs. Take it if you haven't read it already. Take a look at that. I'll give you more information of what we're required to provide. There's also information about what we're required to provide in our full day daycare or childcare, and then also put in there what the school's responsibility is in some of those programs. So just a little more information for the board in there for your reading pleasure. But I have to say, we have a great working relationship. We really feel, both of us, we are one of the same organizations. They're not a separate organization. We work together through the board. I'm actually one of the longest serving board members, I think now. So I've seen them go from a very non-functioning building to this beautiful building they have, and how much they filled that, and how much that's valued by the clientele. And we use it also. So it's not a one-way street. We went over there and we do our daddy-daughter dance at that facility because we wanted to, first of all, it's beautiful, but we also wanted to draw attention to NSSRA. Did I say? I'm sorry, sweetheart dance. That was my bad. Sweetheart dance, not daddy-daughter, sweetheart.
We do our band dance here. You guys do the sweetheart dance over there. We just kind of
switch off. And then we also worked especially with Nate, is really working with their day program called LEAP, right?
Ella.
Ella.
Yep.
LEAP is the word. Ella program. And so try to bring those individuals in to do some community service such as our welcome wagon and other help with special events and too. We love that. So we work very closely together on those programs. I love seeing the individuals in our programs and in our building. It just makes my day. So,
And us too.
and anybody wants to coach, they have a lot of Special Olympics programs. They're
Right.
always looking for coaches too. So.
Any friends, anybody you know that's looking for a job, and we're hiring, and high schoolers
That's
are our.
15 and
our-
over.
Okay, right, exactly. So,
I have a
15 and
14,
over?
I have a
Great.
14-year-old that's looking for a
Okay.
job.
Hiya.
Craig, what is, I want you to eliminate Glencoe Park District from your mind here for about 2 minutes as you answer this question.
okay.
What is an example of a program, a partnership that you have that just hits the mark for the residents, for you? Like, is there an example of a program with a Wilmette, with a Lake Forest, with a Highland Park, or with someone else that's like, wow, this is what hits the mark. This is what makes us special. Can't use Glencoe, by the way.
Right. Okay, so Northfield Park District, you guys all know where Northfield is. It's one of our smaller agencies. You know, I don't know their population, maybe it's 8,000. So they have a rec center that is right on Willow. And it's small and has a really nice gymnasium. And for the 18 years I've been here, our Special Olympic Gators basketball and volleyball program, that's their home court.
Okay.
And Bill Byron is the director now. George Alexoff was for the first 16 years of my career here. And when I started, George said, this is the Gators basketball and volleyball home court.
Yep.
Don't even think about taking them away.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, great, you know, because finding a gym in the wintertime in Illinois, in Chicago
Yeah.
is very hard
Yeah.
because it is prime time. And he's like, and we have our basketball practice starts at 6:45 and goes to 8:45 every Tuesday night,
Yep.
followed by volleyball when
That's your
it's cold
spot.
outside. So they give us the prime time. And
Great.
that is absolutely fantastic. And they are selfish about it, you know,
Hmm.
so I think that is beyond
Yeah.
appropriate. And we take advantage of that for sure. One I'm working on right now is in Highland Park on 41, that the new paddle and padel bubble
Yep.
that the park district put together. You know, pickleball is the thing right now, right?
Yes, we're well aware.
Yes, So we're talking with them. They're like, well, and Special Olympics has not yet identified pickleball as a Special O sport. I think that's coming in the very near future, and we're going to try to be ahead of that. And we're trying to get a pickleball team put together that whose home court is the bubble over
Got it.
there in Highland Park. So I think that could be kind of neat, you know.
Awesome.
And maybe we'll teach them what padel is. I don't, you know, I've seen it. I've played there before, but I haven't played padel. I have to figure out that sport first. So yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, and then my second question for you is, this is obviously something that means quite a bit to me as an individual. I'm trying to instill that value in my kids to
Mhm.
understand. Are there opportunities on the flip side where you think that there are people who participate in Glencoe Park District activities, whether it's be at Watts or the beach? Do you think there's opportunities? Is it worthwhile to have some of our programs meet with some of your programs? And as I'm thinking, and this could be just out there in left field, but as I think about our summer camps,
Yeah.
you know, our kids live in a little bit of a bubble
Yeah.
here in Glencoe. Are there opportunities for our program participants to interact more with your program participants and have a little bit of education both ways
Yeah.
on inclusion,
Mhm.
acceptance, maybe some fun, maybe some this, maybe some that.
Yep. The simple answer is yes, and also it's happening, which is great.
It's
Okay.
happening.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, and I understand your statement about the bubble. I agree. I understand. I see that. However, this area is so far ahead when it comes to inclusion and acceptance. Now, this is my opinion.
Yep.
But I live it every single day. This area, our 13 communities, is one of the best places, the best place I've ever seen. And I've traveled a lot. I coached America's Paralympic bocce team for the Paralympics in Australia.
Wow.
So from 1996 through 2001, I traveled the world with a group of bocce players, all who used electric wheelchairs across the world. And this place has it together. Like the buses that we have here at NSSRA, and we have 10 of them. When I was in Argentina, they basically threw down a ramp, brought my 6 athletes in with other athletes in electric wheelchairs from other countries. And their strategy was get enough in there so that everybody locks in so that when they go, driving around, there's not enough room to move, And as the head coach, like I was terrified, because if something happens, it's on my shoulders. So we are in a great spot here. It happens literally, especially in the summertime, every single day at the various pools that we go to and swim at the beaches we go to and swim at. And we're extremely accepted. And the coolest part is like when we're at Flick Park in Glenview, our participants come in and as they're swimming, with our staff, their fellow students that are there swimming either independently or with their own camp, they're like, hey, there's Mike, or hey, there's Jim.
Yeah, that's
happens.
what I'm going for. I think there's no doubt that I think this community has probably more acceptance than the average community. I'm not certain I'm convinced that's good enough. I want to push us to think about how we can build not just acceptance, but like appreciation, awareness at a younger age. And so I'll push on, I'm sure you guys are doing things as well. But I think it's really important that we teach our kids about inclusion when they're kids. They don't see the world that we see. And I'm hoping that there's opportunities there, but I'll leave it at that.
And beyond that, inclusion is a great word. I like to use the word friendship,
I think that's the right word.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I don't want to get too philosophical. Like I'm bald or balding. My hair doesn't grow well. I'm comfortable with that. But our society has decided that this is marginally okay. But our society has identified that X, Y, and Z conditions are considered a disability.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that because
call them
that's a person.
exceptionalities.
Yes, exactly. Because I think everybody is beautifully made and they're individual. And I wish we will all be more accepting and less labeling, and that's all about friendship because once one becomes familiar with this population, they forget about any of that. And they're just like, that's Bill or that's Jay or that's Michael and he's my friend.
Yeah.
So
That's what I think we should work on towards.
I agree.
So.
I agree.
And maybe we're already doing this as well, but maybe along those lines, do we ever have a day where with one of our summer camps, let's say they're going to go to, what's that farm, Lamb's Farm, or let's just say they go on some excursion. Do we ever partner with an NSSRA camp? Yeah, and then mix them up in little groups and then for an outing?
Not necessarily. We'd be.
And would that be hard?
We'd be totally open to that.
Yeah.
There is some logistical challenges with that. But that's not to say that we cannot do it. But the honest answer is no, we aren't doing a dual, trip to Lamb's Farm or Wagner Farm or the Chicago Bulls.
It's something that I think it's probably
Let's do
something
one
that
day
to
over the
think about.
summer.
Yeah.
Understand there's a lot of logistics.
Yep.
But I think it's worthy of exploring.
Yeah. Well, I love these questions. I mean,
Good.
because we're on this type of talk, we're on the right track and my opinion is just one, but I think that's 100% on the right track.
I think the foundation is there, right? Like I'm here a lot with my kids and there's so much, there's always people in the lobby and they're always interacting and it's really exceptional.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I just don't want them to be
No, it's nothing.
isolated, right?
I love what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's right.
But awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All righty.
Any other questions? Thank you, Craig.
No, thank you,
Appreciate it.
Craig.
You.
Thank you so much.
And on behalf of all men losing their hair, I think we look good. Bobby and I think we look, it's Bobby and me versus John. Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
John, no.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that was really inspiring and really nice to hear. So thank you, Lisa, for inviting Craig. Thank you, Bobby, for all that you do with them, and John for supporting them financially, Aaron with the marketing. It really does take a village to think about inclusion, so much appreciated there. Let's move on to the financial report. John will present a summary of the report and answer questions. And the report is in our board packet on page-ish 79.
I'm gonna have to hold my button down here because
Oh, no.
it's going red.
You want to switch seats with me for a moment?
I'm okay. I could manage, I think.
That's going to be a quick report.
Yeah.
We'll borrow Aaron's. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, President Covey. Good evening, Board of Commissioners. So we'll just briefly spend a few minutes here going over the monthly financial report, PDF page 83 of the packet here tonight. So starting with rec programming, we see, so this is the end of our fiscal year, right? We're comparing February to February year over year. So one thing to point out here is this is just cash basis numbers. So there have not been any adjustments for any kind of accounts payable, deferred revenue, things of that nature. So we're strictly looking at cash basis numbers. So rec programming, we see, top line revenue is at about 16% higher than prior years. So kind of supporting what we've been discussing most of the year. Some of the great job, outstanding work that our rec team has been doing in bringing in additional revenue, specifically camps like FSA and things of that nature. And it really kind of shines through here as we look at the year as a whole here. As we review Children's Circle, we see that, revenue is up significantly, right around 20%. So that obviously polar bears and penguins, the two new classrooms, the partial year for both of those classrooms have contributed to that significantly. And we do see the expenditures that followed kind of in line with that increase in revenues. So resulting in an excess revenue over expenditures, pretty consistent with that of 228.25. We've talked about the good year that the fitness department is having. Beach and boating, we wound up slightly better than last year. Overall, a deficiency of about $26,000 for the beach and boating department. Weinberg, I know we've talked about a few times now this season. So these are the final cash basis results. And I know the team, Bobby and Shannon, will be presenting the Weinberg report, I believe, next month. So they'll have a little more insight on the season at Weinberg. G&A is relatively flat. Parks Department, we've talked about the Shelton Park drainage. That's what's kind of driven the increase year over year, 1,539,000 compared to 1,407,000. And then the last two departments here, rec admin and corporate admin, we see that there's a pretty big difference. So rec admin about $300,000 difference, and corporate admin about a $600,000 difference in revenue received at 228.25 compared to revenue received this year. And once again, that has to do with the delay in the levy. And the good news here, though, is last year they were just a little ahead, and they typically are, whereas we'll get some revenue for next year's levy in February that we wind up deferring. And that's the case here. A good chunk of that difference was really just revenue that we deferred on an accrual basis anyway. So obviously with the delay they had this year, they weren't ahead on any revenues for our upcoming levy year. So the silver lining is, I guess, we don't have to make any audit adjustments for that because the cash basis revenue will probably line up pretty well. But we are pretty nearly collected for our 2024 levy. There are some funds still trickling in, but we are pretty close on collecting that entire levy too. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
I don't have questions, but I've asked questions already. So
There's no quota or max on questions. Hey, explain something to me again, then I'm not sure I'm exactly following you. The revenue that came in from corporate, the 3.6 million last year.
Yes.
Was inclusive of the 2023 levy.
Correct.
The 2024 levy, you're saying is delayed or partially delayed?
So the remainder of the 2024 levy was delayed, but that has all been collected in for the most part in fiscal year 26. What happened
Fiscal
last,
year 20, we're in fiscal year 25 now, aren't we? Or no, we're in fiscal year 26.
we're just wrapping up fiscal year 26.
Okay, so then why is that? Why 3.6 million last year versus 2.9 million this year? I'm not following
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
trying.
No, great question. And it really is just a timing issue. So last year so the 2024 levy
Yep.
is what's going to fund fiscal year 26.
Yep.
So last year we got about $900,000 related to the 2024 levy prior to February 28th.
Okay.
And so that's what that's represented there. Had we just factored in 2023 levy payments in those two
Right.
departments, then it would have been approximately $900,000.
You must have had the same thing happen in 2020.
Likely,
as
yes.
well. So like 2.5 is probably was the norm, and 2023 was done correctly at 2.5 million coming in.
Yeah, so you're in
The 2023 as of Feb 28.
So remember they had delays too a few years back, so there could have been timing issues there.
If you were not to have timing issues, John,
Yes.
what would that number look like for 2025, and what would that number look like for 2026?
For
So like, what is
Yeah.
the expected, when you do accrue, if you were to do this on an accrual basis and say, hey, look, we have accounts receivable coming in here on the revenue, what would that corporate admin revenue line look like if we were lined up with the county in terms of tax payments? So I'm trying to figure out is 3.6 million,
Which one's the norm?
neither one of these are the norm.
None
That's the
of them are
problem, right?
norm.
I think
the 3 is closer to the norm.
The 3.6 or like?
the
a
no,
lower?
the 2.9.
The 2.9, right?
The 2.9.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's why I'm saying like the 2.5, the 2.5 million in 2023 was probably closer to the norm. And then I just don't, the three just looks high. Like I'm surprised to see 2 years over 3.3 million in a row. That's what surprises me.
But does that factor in the increases that have been happening with our property taxes? So like how much, to
Yeah,
me,
but it shouldn't be, it can't be more than 5%. That's the issue, right? Like the village as a whole, or the park district as a whole cannot by law
go back.
have more than 5% increase. And so you see these kind of 25% increase, 20% increase. Now we can allocate it, I suppose, differently.
Now
but
that's not all, keep in mind, that's not all tax revenue there. There is, remember the interest income bump that we got?
That's right.
So that's going to
that's
play a
right,
significant
because we
piece
used to
of
have
it.
like 0%. Now we
There's
have like
PP
4%.
there's
Yep.
PPRT, the personal property replacement taxes, that fluctuates year over year. So if we want a true comparison of property tax revenue, I can get that. But what I can tell you is the norm that we would expect this fiscal year is about 2.9 million related to property taxes in the corporate fund and about 1,340,000 in the recreation fund. So keep in mind the recreation fund has there's some different revenue in there. There's some rental revenues for HACAFA. Of course, the interest income I had mentioned. So the answer, I think, to your main question is that this year, fiscal 26 is the true. Yes, correct. Fiscal 25 is where we collected property tax revenue in advance and it inflated those numbers.
But some of what you collected in advance, meaning it
It's a cash basis.
should be you could have it reflected in the 2026 number.
We would have had we not booked the accounting adjustments.
I mean, maybe just I mean, it's not like anyone's reading, like deep diving into these materials, but it might be worth a footnote on that or something that just makes it clear that there wasn't a big spike or dip. It's just.
Sure.
I mean, I think we have that in the, it's in the, if you
In the narrative.
dig deeper into the budget,
Yeah.
it's usually in there. This is kind of more of a summary.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, I mean, it's just,
It
these are
stands out.
alarming numbers.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to just make sure I pointed out is really there's no cause for alarm. We see,
I came in from the airport, guys. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Got no computer, nothing, so.
That's okay.
that decreases, that's what I was trying to emphasize. Is
Yeah.
That decrease is not a cause for alarm by any means.
Okay,
All I'm saying is that last year we had $900,000 come in February of 2025 that we were not going to count for the fiscal year. So our adjustment took it out.
right.
And
but you
this year
did-
we're
and
not.
that- Yeah, okay,
So that $900,000 is probably going to come in March or April.
Yeah.
It's strictly a timing issue.
got it. Okay. The other thing is, I was just telling Lisa, I'm pleasantly surprised that we're continuing to see, Children's Circle is still, 15%. Used to be obviously 25%, but we've had teacher costs go up, but I'm pleasantly surprised that it's still, in the black, which is nice.
I-
Happy to see actually the beach and boating, I don't think 26,000 is all that. It's actually pretty good. And then Weinberg, obviously, Weinberg, we know is an investment in the community.
Right.
It is. That's just how we
We,
look at it.
yeah.
Or, I mean, maybe, we haven't dug into it, but, some of that Children's Circle Department revenue increase could be due to the fact that we can accommodate more kids and the after school, there might be parts of that where the new space allows us to.
Yeah, the Weinberg space clearly allows it, but those
I know.
those revenues go elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about,
Yes.
Yeah.
The Weinberg, yeah.
yeah, this is just Weinberg operations excluding Children's Circle and after.
Children's
school.
Circle's
Kid-
not at
kids-
that building,
yeah,
that's Kids
Just to
Club.
clarify, Kids Club, which if you
Thank
looked
you.
at as an individual budget, does exceptionally well on a direct expense when you look at it. But to your point with the indirect expenses that go into that program, there's a little bit being absorbed by the Weinberg.
Like what we talked about before is, and we were talking about this earlier in the week, is when you look at Weinberg, if you just look at pure ops right now, it doesn't look ideal. It's the other components that, like Michael said, it's an investment in our community.
Yes.
That if you were to reconfigure the P&L so that you captured those other components, that give you probably a better sense of what's really from a, P&L perspective happening at Weinberg.
Yeah, that's the
But-
number there is just ice. That's why I say
Correct, it's
Weinberg
just-
ice.
Yeah.
So the other programs are absorbed into recreation, and then
Yeah.
the building, they do have some indirect and direct
Correct.
expenses
Mhm.
associated with that too.
I mean, I think of it as this is fixed cap. This is just a fixed asset. So to me, the bigger question is, what's the utility of that asset and
Yeah.
is that increasing?
Mhm.
Ideally, we shouldn't be in the red.
I mean, I
But-
think, I think, Jackie, we do, at our office, we do, this is like the official book. And we're
Right.
going to use this until eternity, fine.
Fine.
If we have a desire to look at things under a different lens, we can do that. And I think that's an exercise that may or may not be
Yeah.
fruitful. Like, we can say, for the beach department, for example, you could throw in, well, what does the sailing camp
Yeah.
do to it, right?
Yeah.
Because the camps tend to have a lot of revenue and not a lot of costs. Or, sorry, not a lot of fixed costs. You've got the labor costs associated with it. So you can move things around. But I think, if that's something we want them to do, we can certainly chat about that. But overall, I mean, I think we just know that the Weinberg Ice Department is not the Weinberg building.
Right.
And the beach department is not, I think your camp's going to rec, right?
Correct.
Correct.
And same with ice
Camp
skating
goes into
lessons
rec.
as well.
So when the camps look really, really, really good, there's other lenses out there that we
Yeah,
can
they
take.
offset the expenses of other programs that we offer, and that's the design of it, right? There's going to be programs that
Yep.
we offer, special events, ice, beach, that aren't going to make money, and that's
Right.
okay. That's the philosophy of the
It's just-
district.
I'd
But-
just like on the record us to note that, just in case there's any member of the public who's looking at this and seeing that
Yeah.
red number be large, and, if they want to look at our meeting notes or whatever, I like them to remember that.
Yeah, it's, I just
So you
think,
know that Weinberg has other.
Yeah, I
we
think
do.
in the,
Absolutely.
Well, the
building
beauty
does,
is-
absolutely.
well, the beauty is if any member of the public ever has questions about this, we are A, really transparent, and B,
Hmm.
we have a John that they can knock on their
A
door.
John.
and ask.
Yes.
But it's true. I think it's very hard for people who are in the financial world and private
Mhm.
or public companies as opposed to governmental to look at it in the same lens because we have really sophisticated systems that can say, let's put the revenue over here. Now
Yeah.
let's take it out, let's put the revenue over here.
Right.
And we're just not in that world.
And again, it's a
And I don't-
completely different basis of accounting.
Yeah.
too.
Right. And I'm not sure I would say we go through that exercise.
Yeah.
I think of it more of like as what, when we look at studying the operations, it, like, what are we doing? We're providing a value to the community, like Michael said. So like, what's the utilization of it?
Yeah.
Not from necessarily a monetary perspective, but like, are people actively using it?
Yeah. And that's what we'll show you in the Weinberg report that will come up in next month.
Well, John, thank you for taking all of our questions. It is
Absolutely.
amazing how year after year, month after month, my head still gets stuck between
Oh my gosh.
how we do accounting in the office versus how we do accounting here. But clearly, when you have an excess revenue of, 3.5 million in recreation, there are other facilities, other buildings, other departments that are subsidizing that, and we're in a good spot financially. So
Absolutely.
appreciate you keeping us above water all the time.
Definitely.
Any other questions for John? Okay, Executive Director report. Let's
All
move
right.
on to you, Miss Lisa.
All right, so we are scheduled to approve the budget tonight. John, do you want to just give a little, bring your little microphone back?
Sure. So just a reminder, obviously we presented the budget at the February committee meeting. That was our first draft. So the next step in the process is to approve the approval draft, which is presented tonight. There were no material changes from the first draft to the approval draft. So pretty much everything that was presented on February 3rd, I believe, is still current information. So if we get the approval tonight for the approval draft, we'll post the budget and appropriation ordinance for 30-day public inspection. And we'll be able to approve then the budget and appropriation ordinance at the, I believe, the April 21st board meeting. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and submit that to the county, and we'll have our legal authority to spend for our fiscal year 27.
Just a reminder, in that budget, we also approve our organizational chart, or reapprove our mission, vision, and values. That was part of our comprehensive plan, just like to do this yearly for the public, for total transparency. We put our comprehensive plan priority and department goals. That's tab 10. Category services, which the board already reviewed and talked about, but that's in tab 9. And then the annual merit pool, in-service training conference and tuition budgets also in there, and that's already been talked about also. So when you're approving that, you'll see a very long motion to include all those. Those are also important for us to approve yearly for our accreditation. So that's why we put it in the budget, so it's always in the same place. We never forget that, so. Weinberg Ice Rink, again, like I said, we'll talk about that more next month, but you just want to give a high level.
Yeah, we had another very successful, safe winter season at Weinberg. We closed on March 1st. The weather was a little challenging this winter. It was up and down, depending on what month it was. A big thank you to Shannon and her team. They did an exceptional job to deal in the parks team. Those weather challenges, community doesn't see the efforts that go in at late at night, early in the morning, but they did a fantastic job. We will give a full presentation to the board of the Weinberg report in April, and we'll do a deep dive into the data and give you more information.
Yeah, I do have to give kudos to the whole team. It's both rec and the maintenance working together. When we have those swings, it does a lot of damage to our ice, and they're always out there making sure that we get every day of the season as possible. So that one little swing towards the end was really, really hard for them. And we just closed a couple hours and we were up and going the next day. So kudos to the team, and another awesome season. If you don't look financially, look at that. So, okay. Greenhouse Task Force, you want to give a little update on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the board knows that Commissioner Cummins is actually leading the task force with support from the staff. So we have met twice in February and March with the focus of being a community benefit for the whole community. We've discussed construction updates, supplies needed to get the greenhouse off the ground, and then potentially future programming that the district or community partners can do. And we're on track to open the first week in April with the community garden, looking to put in their seeds and get ready for their growing. And we're really excited to see what options and that space is going to look like. I think it's going to evolve as we see the space getting used, but it's really exciting. It's looking great. If you haven't been over there, I'd highly advise wandering
really
over and
nice.
checking it out.
I went over there. It's really nice. It's
Mhm.
really, really, really nice.
Looks good.
Yeah.
We'll end up doing like a ribbon cutting on that, but right now we're still working on interior plumbing, site electrical
Yeah.
is boring. It's done, but they're wrapping up the interior electrical work. ComEd is always the thing we have to wait on. Furniture and installation and inside the greenhouse is being worked on now. So once we're finished with all of that, when the weather's a little nicer, we'll have a little ribbon cutting out there and really showcase that and hope we get the word out so people will see it. So thank you for that. Just want to note that just recently Bobby completed his second year of the NRPA Director School, so you have to be invited to attend that. And he wasn't. He finished his second year, so kudos to him.
Thank
Jared Barchinger, and then two other park staff attended the Great Lakes Park Training Institute, which is specialized for the parks team. So kudos to them. They go out to Indiana and work on that. So that's a really cool one. All right. As far as capital projects, you probably saw out there, we have no more old buildings. So they were demolished yesterday and remnants are taken out today. So we are moving quite along. Kyle had a family emergency, so couldn't be here tonight. They are working on this week. You'll see, big earth movers doing storm and sanitary work out there. The dugout footings are getting drilled and formed. And so within the next week, we'll have concrete laid for the dugouts and the fencing and grading and turf restoration for completion by May 1st. The building, 50% or so of the roof is completed, but we need no rain or heavy winds to finish that. They need 2 days of no rain and no heavy winds to work on each section. So that's moving slower than we'd like because we've had awful weather last week. But if you look at the 10-day forecast, we're looking really good. So we're still on schedule. But once those get done, you'll see the work really picking up and more trades coming in. So we had a hairy day today, just with ComEd here and all the earth movers. It was quite the juggle in the parking lot this morning, and the parks team managed that great. So the beach, we're working on finishing up the interior finishes. So we'll be bringing those to the board, and Nicole and Megan will be, they were voluntold to come into a staff meeting to review those and before we bring them to the board next time. So thanks for volunteering. So that was very nice of you. So they're going to be working internally so we can keep this process moving along. So, so appreciate that. In April committee, just working, believe it or not, we're working on the next projects. We'll start discussing Friends Park and bringing in design services for that. So we could start, believe it or not, community discussion in June and our board discussion in June, July to get kind of a feel of what we want out there, and then community discussion on that because we would like to apply for OSLAG grant for that park. It'd be a long shot, but we want to try because if we move ahead with making it a university accessible playground, that will be our first. And those are usually very good for OSLAG grants. So we want to try that. So we want to move that along.
The universal accessible, what does that mean?
So that means that at any point, an individual can get onto a piece of equipment themselves. So that there's less barriers, there's more ramps, there's really less barriers so you can integrate play better. And as we move on, we'll explain more and more of that. So we do not have one in our park, and that we feel like that would be an excellent park playground to do that. Being downtown.
We still, does that impede an ability to have swings or?
It should not.
Oh.
No. Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk more about that as we move along, but believe it or not, we're moving on to the next project already. So as far as that, I do not think I have anything else. Do you have any questions to my report? All right. Thank you.
I do not. Okay. Well, thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
It looks like we have a motion to approve the full year 2026, 2027 approval, budget. The approval draft, which includes the organizational chart, mission statement, comprehensive plan, department goals, capital projects, multiple year review, and the rec fees and charges for the Glencoe Park District for the fiscal year beginning 3/1/2026 and ending 2/28/2027 as presented.
So moved.
Seconded for someone.
Second. Oh, second.
So moved.
We
Perfect.
reversed it.
I'm so
reversed it.
confused.
Yeah.
Made a motion. She second.
Yeah.
We're good to
Perfect.
go.
Right.
Roll call.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kobe,
Yes.
Commissioner Reitman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Cousins.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the biannual review of executive session minutes. 5 ILCS 120/2 C21 to include the approval and held confidential of execution, executive session minutes from September 25th, 2025, October 7th, 2025, February 17th, 2026, and March 3rd of 2026, and the destruction of the following audio tapes that meet the recommended destruction criteria from January 9th, 2024, February 20th, 2024, as presented.
They're in this packet. If there's no discussion on these, we don't have to go in executive session. We can just approve them. If there's any discussion on these, then we have to table it, go into executive session and come back out and approve them.
Let's take a look through. No. Anybody have any thoughts, any issues? If not, we could use a second and a
A motion.
motion. I already entertained the motion. I already did that. We needed someone to second it.
Second.
You can't make the mo, it's so.
No, I already made the motion. I
Okay,
entertained the
so you're
motion.
you're
I already-
making the
I read
motion.
it.
Okay,
I entertained the motion.
okay.
Just
A second.
Jackie seconded it. So is there any discussion?
No.
No? Okay, let's do a roll call vote then.
Commissioner Kobe,
Yes.
Commissioner Whiteman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins.
Yes.
Okay. Any other business? Lisa will lead a follow-up discussion on the March committee meeting, commissioner comments, questions regarding the beach report, or the beach project. This
Excellent.
information was also provided in the park.
It was. Thank you so much. Okay, so we want to bring back and keep this project moving along. Some questions the board had on the beach project and just get a consensus of what you would like to do, if you have enough information to move forward with that. So
This was the doors
yeah,
and
I'm
windows.
missing one of the
Yeah, what are,
doors and windows in my packet for some reason. Okay, so I don't have it in front of me.
you want-
So I provided
See if
in the
I have it here.
packet. Is it in the packet?
Yep.
Let's see.
Okay, I don't have it in mine. Thanks. I'm
There,
like
I
looking
got
for
it
it.
if you
Okay.
want it.
In the packet, we provided what would the recommendation from the architects on moving the door as requested to look into that. They provide the information that's in the packet. They recommend that we do not move the door, just because it would be a considerable expense. It would change the
exterior,
exterior of the
Yeah.
building and
I don't have it in
I don't
here
have
either.
it in
It's not,
either.
it's not,
No,
in
I
the-
have
it's not in the
I have
packet.
the,
the
it's
boat,
not in,
the
it
boat
didn't make the
stuff?
packet for some reason.
but I think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so talk with us about it.
So, okay, anyways, I'm sorry, it didn't make the packet.
Oh, okay.
So that, I can't find it, that's why you couldn't find it either.
Yeah.
So the door that they recommended that I don't have my computer in front of me, the doorway would be substantial to move the doorway even a few feet, because that in order to tie in the original brick was very expensive to do.
Yeah.
There's brick
No
around-
No surprise there.
Yeah, there's
There's brick
bigger.
around the door.
Yeah, to tie it in into
Yeah.
it. And I'll send the email after their recommendation. But, and it would probably have to, it's historical landmark would have to go to, probably cause a lot of issues to change the exterior from that. So they recommended not to, and to match the color. And to do it, we'd probably have to do the whole building, which would then,
I really want that door.
I mean, like, in all honesty, do you, like, if you do want it, it's
No.
gonna, okay. So,
I was just joking. I didn't
Okay.
take the whole building
Give-
apart so we can know what
Got
it's
it.
there.
All right, cool.
So it
Okay,
sounds
sorry
like-
about that. That wasn't in there.
but
Um,
Good idea, but it's not, it's
Oh, what
FSC.
happened?
It's 0 for 3 on that one. It's 0 for
think
So is it fair to say that there's kind of consensus on
That we
keeping
had-
the doors?
Two windows. So you got
That's
a door.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Is it fair to say there's consensus on keeping the door placements where they are,
Yeah.
keeping the
Yes.
window placements where they are? We all feel good
Yeah.
about this?
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you for looking into
So
it. I know
sorry
I
about
saw
that.
something in an email
Yeah,
about
I
it.
did.
so
I thought
I'll
I
check-
had in
check my
there.
email, but I
That's okay.
appreciate you
I think
looking
Mavis
into
said
it
it.
because I think it's,
Absolutely
It's
wanted
worth
to
it.
make sure any follow-up. Okay, so next is the boat locker follow-up. The board wanted us to really look into the boat lockers behind the boathouse so that's on the north end. So in your board pack, you'll see here, currently there's 16 lockers behind the boathouse. Reconstruction would result in the same 16.
Mhm.
If we put in the modular system that we had in the lobby for the longest time, we would be able to add approximately 30 lockers in the same existing footprint
In the red.
Yes.
in the red portion.
Or in
The
brown.
green portion, or whatever that color is, green, that would be, we're recommending putting a slab down all the way around. And if we needed to add additional lockers in the future, that we could have the ability to both either do the traditional lockers or the modular lockers at a future date. We don't recommend adding additional now. We want to see if there's a need
Yeah.
before we do that because of some of the other changes we're making with the kayak racks, and maybe people aren't going to use as many lockers. But we could have that ability to put more in later if we would need it. So what we're doing right now is we're putting in the same amount in, but the behind it, if we put the modular lockers, they'll be smaller, which would be very accommodating to kayakers and
Yeah.
paddle boarders and things like that. Less so for the sailboarders. They don't really like that small locker. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
Yeah, the site conditions are also something to bear in mind. We
Yes.
talked about it at the last meeting, but there's not a lot of sun back there. The existing conditions are pretty rough. So even if we did do improved, materials, the life expectancy back there is less. Probably the modular is going to last longer back there. It's hard to know, but we do have to bear in mind that those site conditions are not great back
Yeah.
there.
Gets really damp back there. There's not a lot of sunlight to
Mhm.
dry it out. So staff would probably recommend the modular lockers back there as a better
Yeah, I think so.
option.
yeah. And it's out of sight for if you're sitting on the beach, you
You don't see
you
it.
don't see
You
them.
don't
So
see
it makes a
them.
little bit of
Yeah.
a difference out there. I'm sorry. I think I may have.
Is it a good place to have a locker? Like, is it?
Some
is it-
people
is it
love
okay?
them.
Okay, it's okay to,
Yeah.
it's not like muddy and you're hiking through.
It is right now.
It is right
Yeah,
now. We
yeah.
recommend putting concrete footing like we are putting under all the lockers
Oh, okay.
to back there. And then we'll cut back some more of the brush that's there.
Yeah.
So we will make improvements
There will
back
have to
there.
be some kind of concrete walkway there, whether it's a
Yeah.
foot or.
Options
not
are just
ADA
so limited, I
accessible,
think.
but-
Bobby,
The spot too, like
We- we-
immediately some of those.
We do.
yeah, I was
do need
gonna
them.
say, the idea here is we put these modular behind so that it still preserves the traditional ones.
Correct.
But yet we increase the volume
Correct.
for the people who don't need an entire locker.
I will say the 16 people behind the boathouse will not want to, they will want the old ones. So we are going to have to try, if we do the modular, work them into the existing inventory if they want. So there is people back there I know that want exactly the way it was. But if you go back there, the doors are very twisted, they're all rotted out. So we could work with them. So just bear it in mind. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it because of that, but we will have to work with people on getting them into lockers.
Just to
Commissioner?
make sure. You like that location. They wouldn't want a beach location for the lockers that were, if we
There's a
keep
there's a
them.
few I know that will
They
want to
also
stay.
want to keep the.
Correct.
Why do they want this location? Just more convenient or
They've
just
been in it a long time and change is hard.
tradition?
Change
Yeah,
is hard.
change is
Change
hard.
is hard.
Change
Yeah.
is hard,
Okay.
but
I do think the dampness and wanting, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
still leaning towards in that back location.
yeah, I am too. I mean, it's damp, we'll get a better lifespan and it
Yeah.
increases the volume.
Yeah.
To me, the increased volume is important because we know people go down there and we've been working through the kayak list and all, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so right now we have 169 lockers. There's one person on the wait list. There's 15 current boaters who have more than one locker, and that's because traditionally when they got more spots, they got it. And again, once you give something, it's really hard to take it away from people. So you remember, we talked about changing the fee structure as well, so incentivizing people if they don't need it to get a discount. So
Yeah.
we may pick up a couple with that, but right now we are maxed out.
So we couldn't, could we accommodate those people who would want to keep the larger locker? Like if we had to move them, would that work?
I think we would make it with the current numbers, no, but I think with people giving up second lockers, we know there's already a couple of people who are like, I'm not paying the $250 or $125. So we think we can make it work or start a wait list and get people to where they want to be eventually.
Yeah, I don't even know that that's the
Yeah.
right answer. I'm just.
There's
Yeah.
only a
If-
couple of,
if-
we're only talking,
Okay, there's,
Kayakers, paddle boards might say, oh, I want the
Correct.
smaller one because I'll pay
Yeah.
less.
absolutely.
Odds will probably be a
Absolutely.
little
I'm
bit
just
less.
trying to anticipate.
yeah, I think there's going to be some
Yes.
small number of
Yeah.
unhappy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it is
true.
our job, I hope, at least the way I see it, is it's our job to maximize the utility for the most people possible. And it is unfortunate that some people may lose out, but progress and change is hard. But I think you're gonna hear it from a neighbor or two.
Mhm.
But you're also gonna hear, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have a locker too from some
Correct.
people as well.
No, it's.
And yeah,
And the lockers accommodate the kayak poles and like it works. It works for,
And I will say not everyone. So somebody who might have a 15-year-old paddle that doesn't break up into two may not fit in that.
but they can put
Yeah.
can they put their paddle on, can they lock it up on the rack?
Well, we had talked about adding those. If you saw in the back of
Yeah,
the packet,
Yeah,
there
those
is that
tubes.
option.
like tubes, right?
Yep.
We
Tubes,
talked about
yeah.
the tubes in
Because
case.
Karen-
I think the vast majority of people, look, as someone who over indexes on equipment at the beach, the paddle is not the
Yeah.
long pole in the tent in terms of expense. Pun intended here, it is a little bit long, but like the newer paddles are fairly
$30, $40.
reasonable.
Well, if you, they might be, maybe 150, a nice one.
Nice one.
Yeah. But like,
Yeah.
we're not, this is not, we don't have a lot of Olympic paddleboarding individuals here, so I think we'll
Recreation.
end up being okay.
It's recreation and,
Yeah.
if they might have to buy a new paddle, they go Sam.
I think we
you
have to
know.
remember when we do this is that for every like 10 happy people, the one for you, it's one bad unhappy person. So
Yep.
you'll hear that much
Right.
more. It's something I teach my staff is like, yeah, you're not going to hear from people happy.
Yeah,
So it's just what it
exactly.
is.
Exactly.
You know what's coming.
It's true.
And I'm
You know
guessing
what's
you've
coming.
been there that you know the names already.
Yep.
So it's just,
Just want to make sure everybody's aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is, it sounds like this works out. It sounds like we're all ready
Mhm.
for the challenges that may come from the few, but we're all happy about, I think, the benefit of the many. So appreciate
Okay.
your hard work on this.
So I'm hearing that modular behind there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
That's a
great.
great solution.
Okay, the next one is that we looked into the boat rack as far as the colors for on the boat rack where these would be the kayak sleeves that would be on the boat racks. So we showed them originally in white. So we're recommending the change it to scheduled 80 gray, which is depicted right here on this. So instead of white, it will be a gray color for that kayak storage.
I like that.
Blends in a little bit better. On top of that, we gave you some more information on the rack colors because there was some concern about the aluminum color. So we could do a powder coated racks in black and other colors. There is a potential that those could leave scuff marks on the kayaks and paddleboards. I just want to make that known. And
I'm sorry, I missed that.
it could leave scuff marks, like if you're pulling out and hit it, could get scuff a paddleboard or a kayak. Aluminum would,
They powder coat it white? Or?
yeah, I'm sure
They
they
can-
could.
they
Yeah,
can.
absolutely. You want, if you didn't want black,
So that could also leave, right?
It could also-
Whatever color we.
whatever color could
The-
leave scuff marks.
yeah.
But yes, if the board wants us to look at, if you're like, oh no, we really want black or white, whatever
The
color. you want
powder,
in.
the powder coating too will, if kayaks, paddleboards are getting pulled off, will get chipped or will get
Yeah, you will
scuffed
chill.
too.
Yeah.
So just
So
bear
that's the
in mind.
next thing is that there would have to be there would be, have to be a annual, probably every 3 to 4 years of powder coating. That's similar to what we do on the pier with our rails. Those are powder coat. They have to be, refinished every 3 to 4 years, and they start looking really bad.
And those
Um,
are white, right? I'm just
Those are
curious.
white, yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually just, I'm leaning maybe more towards white powder coating. if
Okay.
possible. Just trying to think about how the beach looks as a whole.
Those,
Wait, what was wrong
Give
with
me a-
that?
that might be a little bit,
Maybe if
We're a little
people like
confused
that-
over here.
hold on. So originally aluminum
Right,
was like
okay.
shown, and there was somebody who brought up that, was a good point, I thought, and this one might look white to you here, but this, I think it's aluminum. So it's like a metal
Oh,
color.
that's aluminum. Oh, it's
I think
aluminum
that's,
white.
yeah.
Okay.
that's aluminum. That looks
Yeah.
more, it's hard to pick. This is AI,
Yeah,
it's
that's
hard to
not
pick,
real.
but that's
Oh, okay.
aluminum
Oh,
color.
this is a great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
no.
those-
Yeah.
With the canisters and everything, it's nice visual.
But that would be more of aluminum color, kind of like what you see on our light poles out here. I
Mm.
would say that. And so that's normal. That is less maintenance, less scuffing on boats. We do believe the powder coat would also be more of an upfront cost. I'm just putting that out there.
What's wrong with the black?
No, that's what they will, I'm just picturing, like, we're gonna have those like huts that are probably gonna be, right now they're like a blue gray, like a light color. Our beach thing is a light color. What do you call it? At the pier, we've got like the white, and then right behind the beach huts, we're gonna have this structure. It'll be on the beach. It'll be the only black thing. It might look fine. I don't know.
Black is not very, black
But-
you don't see very much. To me, the
Yeah.
white stands out way
The
more.
white stands out
You
more
think
than
kind
the
of
white.
blends
Yeah.
in. Well,
'Cause
can
when
we first decide, do you want to go with a powder coat with the facts I gave you and move away from aluminum, and then we can talk about the color. So let's talk about that first and go from that. If that's the way you want to go, let's do that one first and then go to a color. So aluminum is what they spec. It probably has less maintenance, less probably damage to the boat or scuff marks on the boat. Both would have to be, dress scuffing and scratch, fading and stuff like that. Both of them will, but just do we not even want to consider the aluminum? Do you want us to do aluminum and then do alternate when we go out to bid? Because we can do that to see how much more the color coding is, or you're like, nope, we want to do color coding. We don't care. I'm just asking you. So,
Maybe we discussed this, and forgive me, does aluminum come different colors?
no, it's pretty much aluminum color. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
the question.
That's where the powder coat comes in. That's where you get
I
the
know, but
different color.
is this powder coating aluminum is what we're happening here? Is that what is happening?
No,
Steel, I think.
that's steel.
Steel, I'm
Yeah,
saying, so.
I think the ultimate question that we have to ask ourselves, and this is going to be one that's going to come up time and time again. Do we want this to blend in, or do we want it to be more functional for the users, right? Because at the end of the day, the longevity and the scuffing, it looks like it's going to be better for aluminum. It's easier for us to operate. The powder or the black, I think you think is going to be more aesthetic. That is what you have to figure out
Yeah.
how the citizens, and should not be our own personal preference, but how do you think the people at the beach would appreciate it? Would they appreciate the form or the function?
I think it would come down to cost. If I were, I'd be curious to see what the differential.
Let's
is.
just imagine in this world of magic world that the cost is the same.
But it's not going to be. the
I
same.
know, but I want to hone in on a
I'm with
I
you.
want to understand where people are.
So if I'm, just so I understand the scuff situation. If I'm putting my paddleboard, if I'm like shoving it into the aluminum one, it's never gonna get scratched up, like. it's
No,
not
if
gonna-
both items will
Right, they're both
scratch
gonna
your
get
boat, one
scratches.
aluminum
One is gonna
or
leave a
steel will not leave like the paint mark on your
Okay, and,
kayak.
like how, how it's like 100% of the time, if you have one of these powder coat things and you
What do you
like
think?
using it, you're definitely gonna get
No.
powder
No,
coat.
Just
it
depends
depends, it
the
depends on the
user.
type of boat. The sunfish will probably do more damage than a paddleboard. It's a heavy kayak.
Well, sunfish aren't going on these racks, so we're just talking
They
paddleboards.
may be
really?
going on the south side. We have 3 or
Okay.
4 of them, so.
How big a deal is that to owners? It doesn't really affect the boating, does it? The boating, it affects
No.
like your
I
car, like how it
Static of
looks.
the boat.
Yeah, it's aesthetic.
It's aesthetic.
Aesthetic,
Well,
so it has no real impact on the actual boats.
But
But-
it creates a maintenance issue for
For the
us.
boat.
And regardless of
For
whether
the
or not,
team.
the other thing to think about, regardless of whether or not it has a material impact, if someone sees it and is like, hey, you scratched up my car, or you scratched
Yes.
up my this, even though a little scratch on my car is not gonna do anything, people
Get.
get upset.
100
So I just want to put that out there.
I-
And you're putting our frontline staff to have to explain, oh, it's the powder coat. It's not, it's more aesthetic than anything else.
It's something done to you that you didn't know was going to happen. And that's
And
why,
you can't, there's no like, I mean, we're not gonna be liable for it. They'll sign a waiver when they do their thing, but there's no easy way to explain that to somebody ahead of time.
I mean, as a kayaker, I want function. Because while I'm down there at the beach, my immediate isn't, oh, wow, this all blended. My immediate is, I need to go get my kayak and I need to get out on the water. And I hope to God it's easy for me to do it because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but
And it's gonna slide against the metal because it's heavy.
exactly.
There will be
There'll
rollers.
be rollers
There
on
will
there,
be
so you
rollers
know,
on
there's
the
rollers on the bottom.
so that people can roll them off.
It's more if they hit the side, I would
Yeah.
say, right? Yeah.
I'll tell you where I am. I think when I look at this, I don't think the paint doesn't do that much for me in terms of changing the aesthetic. I would just go with aluminum. I think it's fine. That's where I am.
I have 2 thoughts. I mean, one is that we can go creative and just do the facade, the very front, which is what we worry about, right, of the beach seas. I don't know if powder coating does the front. I don't know if that's realistic or not. But then you've got like the rest of it and it doesn't affect the boat nearly as much. Number 2, it's steel, but it's a really large area and I don't think it's really gonna impact the overall area that much. I mean, we're talking about, we've got bluffs, we've got water, we've got sea, we've got everything else. And I just can't imagine that this is gonna overwhelm the area.
Right.
How many of these
You know.
would we slot, like,
Do
how
you
many
remember,
rows?
was it 4? Was it 4 racks?
So on the south side, it's almost 40 spots. So it's probably 10 rows. And then it's probably 60 on the north side approximately.
From a percentage of real estate space, it's a minority. Like we're talking probably what, 10% of the physical real estate space down by the beach.
Probably a lot less.
A lot
actually.
less
Lot
than
less than
10%.
that.
Good.
Probably
Would be
2%.
tiny.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning
a lot
on the
less.
side,
Yeah.
that whole
Yeah.
entire side,
God, would that be-
that's right by the water.
The water plant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more like when you come down the ramp here, it's gonna be right here. So it's not, when you come down, you see more of the beach this way than the racks sitting here.
When you come down.
Okay.
Honestly, what you're gonna
the
see
lockers
more
are
of,
blocking them, right?
what you're gonna see more of
Attached
is
to
not the metal
The
tube or
boats.
the steel. You're gonna see the yellow, the blue, the
Kayaks.
red, the
Kayaks.
white kayaks. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like we're not gonna see that much
Yeah.
of
No,
the actual material.
I'd
behind it.
say just steel.
Okay.
The boaters are not gonna be happy with this and I don't blame them.
I wouldn't be-
And so for the minimum amount improvements, it's just, I don't see what we're doing here.
And it costs more.
And regardless of that, it just, you're gonna have, the boaters are gonna be the ones affected the most and no one else is gonna notice it. That much, I don't think.
The aluminum, non-powder coated, just raw, how does that wear? Does that rust? Does that, what?
Doesn't rust
So aluminum
as bad. There will still be scratches, rubs, we'll have to rub it out and things like that. But yes, it wears a lot better than, say, something about, we gave an example, this one right here on the bottom in your thing is what we're seeing in Highland Park right now. They have we're not sure if this is powder coated, but
Yeah.
you
Definitely,
remember,
it's definitely painted steel.
it's painted steel.
By itself or no?
Aluminum tends to not, steel will rust a lot
Yeah.
quicker than.
Right, we're not
aluminum.
doing steel though,
Right.
right?
That would be powder coated steel would be, so if think about like, what the sun shelters are gonna be,
Yeah.
that's gonna be powder coated.
Yep.
So it would be that same finish. But the difference with that is you're not rubbing something
Against it.
against it.
Yeah, but so.
Fuzzy
if we
rust
change
and-
The aluminum all
Yeah.
by itself, we're not gonna get this rusting at all?
No, we
It
should
shouldn't.
not.
Traditionally, that happens in boats with the hardware. So bolt nuts and bolts is the things that would rust versus the aluminum.
Yeah.
And it's not stained, it's not in a salt water environment, so it's going to do better.
Yeah, I have a building in the city and I have powder coated fence. There's work to be done.
Yeah, we know that with our,
Yeah.
the,
Right,
the,
with
on
the pier, yeah,
every about 5 years, we have to, it gets
Yeah.
beat up and
It-
we have
yeah.
to do a whole powder coating and it's quite the process and we touch it up every year, but yeah,
It's just,
I say no.
I say no, it's just,
you're no,
I
so we have,
know, yeah.
we have 3 and don't know where Michael stands, so.
I can say no.
You're gonna see the boats. You're gonna see.
I will say, I'm not kidding, as a kayaker, if it got dented or something happened to it, or like it did that
Dented,
discolor.
yeah, it won't do anything, discolor.
Denting's not, I mean, I'm a
But-
kayaker. I've got my kayak.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've never looked at the bottom of my kayak. I could care less. But I'm thinking more of the maintenance aspect
Mhm.
where if we powder coat it, it's actually, I think, going to look worse
In a couple of years,
in a
yeah.
couple years. Yes,
That's
and I
what-
don't
yeah.
want to see
Well,
this
that's what I'd
red.
be worried about.
I think actually it'll look better in the beginning and then worse. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm going.
Okay. So we're going aluminum for the structure and then gray, everybody's okay with gray for the kayak.
Yeah, and then
Cattle.
it'd be the gray
Storage.
rollers too.
I
And
haven't
gray
seen
what?
The rollers,
The gray, yeah,
Yeah.
and there'll be gray rollers
Gray
for the thing.
rollers.
Yeah, you can't see those very much.
Yeah.
It's-
So gray rollers. Okay, so you good with that,
you're gonna
aluminum?
see the boats.
I
Okay.
am deferring to the incredible talented board here.
All right.
So if the board
Excellent.
has spoken with aluminum
Aluminum.
Okay.
rollers, I'm all for it.
Well, that gives us great direction to
This is
keep
good.
on
It
moving.
looks like we do have consensus, so
We do.
that's great.
Okay.
And thank you for
Thank
bringing
you.
it to us, and thank you
Absolutely.
again
Thank
for
you.
having the team research.
Absolutely, no,
all the
we're
doors
happy to do that.
And also, while I'm saying thank you to both of you who I think are helping out so much with the
Volunteer,
interior,
Yeah.
being
We
voluntold.
hopefully to have that
There's no
back
such
by.
thing. You were elected for a reason. and, After we all voted yesterday, it reminds me that we were all here on behalf of our citizens, so thank you for representing them. Perfect. I don't see any reason to enter into a closed
Nope,
session.
I have none.
So I'm going to recommend a motion and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. I
I'm gonna
did.
give it to Gary.
I wanted
He
to.
came all this way.
All in favor?
I.
Aye. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good job, good discussion. And
That
can
was
I have
fun.
these folders